Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the 9th season for the Walking Dead television series. We've got the preview special on tonight, which I will definitely check out and do a recap for you guys afterwards, let you know what it includes and everything. But in this video right here, we're going to give our thoughts on Season 9, now that the trailers come out and everything, and we have a good understanding of probably somewhat what we're going to see, and whether or not we think it's the most anticipated season of the series ever. Alright, so I wanted to post one for today, namely because it's Dead Day, it's Sunday, we've got the return for Fear the Walking Dead next weekend, next Sunday. Tomorrow we've got Better Call Saul's premiere for Season 4. Season 4 for Better Call Saul, so excited for that. Going to definitely do a review for that once that's aired tomorrow night, so heads up for that, guys, as well as I'll do a review or recap of the preview special tonight after it's done. So if you guys don't get a chance to watch it, you can check back the channel tomorrow and you'll see some kind of recap, and maybe I'll link you to a teaser video if they post it online, or if I can find it online from somebody recording it from the preview special, because usually they have at least some kind of trailer or something in that. So the question for this one came in from Chris Mulcahy, and he said, so is The Walking Dead Season 9 more hyped than 701, or is this season more hyped than the Season 7 premiere? So this is the way I'm going to go with this one. For me personally, as a viewer, this is my most anticipated season they've ever done, but kind of for the wrong reasons. So it's not hyped in a way where it's like, honestly, I think in all the years I've been doing this for with you guys, and all the different series I've reviewed, because I've reviewed, dozens of different series over the years, the most hyped episode ever of any TV series, I think, is 701 for The Walking Dead. The premiere for Season 7 to find out who Negan killed. If you guys remember that summer, it was just like, murder, waiting to waiting to see who Negan ended up killing, because they did the point of view Negan smash at the end of Season 6. And then we had to wait to Season 7 to actually see it. So that was the most anticipated episode of a television series ever, and it worked out for it there for the start of that season to really have a huge premiere for the season, but it did turn viewers off as well too, because they started with kind of a finale and the bad guy won, which people also don't like, right? People want the good guys to win pretty much all the time. When you have the bad guy win even a little bit, it can tick off your viewers who want to get that really nice story all the way through, pretty much. With some, there's got to be some things that happen, but that was a clear, I want to say, like 100%. Negan put the survivors in their place in that episode, and I don't think the fan base was ready for that. They weren't ready to see that. So is this season, or is the premiere for the season as hyped as that episode in terms of like that? In terms of the overall fan base, I would say no. There's no way. It's definitely not as hyped as what that was and how cooked that was. To have to wait all the way from the finale episode to the premiere to get to see who dies, right? That was clearly the most hyped episode ever. It was probably even more hyped than for Game of Thrones Battle of the Bastards, which was one of the most anticipated episodes ever of any series. I would say that 701 is the most hyped or most anticipated episode to ever see in a television series. Because Walking Dead was hot at that time. We wanted to find out who Negan, bashed brains in, whose brains got bashed in. And we'll get more into this a little bit later on when we give our thoughts kind of on Glenn here, because we've got some good questions about him and, how things would have gone differently maybe if he would have survived that. But, in a way, it was like the biggest episode ever, and maybe in some other ways it was maybe the worst episode because of what happened in it and how it's affected the series afterwards. But then again, there's also the Carl stuff and things like that to take into consideration too. But for me, this season coming up is because the reason why is because we don't know. This season feels like the end. You know what I'm saying? And it might just be because we follow Rick in that point of view from the very first season series, the very first episode. We follow him. We're in his footsteps. So when you go all the way from that till here, this season feels like a finale of the whole damn series. Like, it feels like an ending to what journey was started when the series first started off. And after this season, after Season 9, it's not going to be the same. It's going to be a different season. So it's not hyped for me in that kind of way where it's like you're so excited positively to see it because you just want to find out who Negan smashed. Or for example, the Terminus episode in season 5 after that cliffhanger in season 4, that was super hyped as well too. This one is in a different way. It's in a way where I feel like we're not sure about the future of the series, and we want to find out whether or not Rick is going to live or not, and it feels like an ending to the show. So for that, it's probably going to be the most important season of the series that they've ever done, because depending on how things go, it may or may not kill the whole show. And that's so it's not hyped in a positive way. It's in a different kind of way. But still, for me, I cannot wait to see what happens, because I want to see how the fan base is going to respond and what the future of The Walking Dead is going to be, and whether or not this is going to be a finale for that, for the first really, 8 or 9 seasons of the series for Rick. So that's kind of the way I'm feeling about it going into the season right here. And yeah, man, so just a different type of hype and anticipation than what we're used to. You guys can leave a comment below. Let me know how you're feeling about that. But that's where I stand on it. Is personally, I'm more, anticipating this than ever before, because it feels like the end, and I hope it's not, but we'll see. Says this conversation is getting tired. Clearly, they shot multiple endings. We won't know until we know. Better off making peace with that. So about the Rick situation, and it's true, man. We can go back and forth on it all day. Originally, it was spoiled apparently that he was going to be killed off, and then they kind of drew it back, or it was just that once we got around Comic-Con time, it sounded like Andrew Lincoln was saying goodbye 100%, but then there was other interviews, like with comicbook.com, where it kind of sounded like, there was his relationship with Rick Grimes had a lot more left in it, or there was a lot more left to do, which made it sound like he was leaving. So now we're at a place where we really don't know. The majority of the audience wants him to leave. They think they're going to leave, but we can't, the other, 30 whatever percent thinks that he's going to be killed off. So we just won't know until we know for sure. And that in and of itself is frustrating, because you want to get the answer. You want to know what it is, but there's just, until we see that episode, just like with the season 7 premiere, we could try to break down the lineup as many which ways as possible. We could try to figure out where Negan was doing that lean, right? who was gonna hit, or what was gonna happen. But until we actually see the episode, we likely won't know for certain. And yes, we will have to make peace with that. So as frustrating as it is, that's the situation, and that's the status right now. Is we really don't know. Hopefully he leaves. But right now I'm almost feeling like, well, maybe based on that first speech, he really is just going to be killed off, and that's going to be all there is to it. I just hope not. So we'll see. Chris Mulcahy says, is Lauren Cohen leaving because Steven left, or because of what happened with Glenn being killed off in the season 7 premiere? So if Glenn was still alive, man, this would be a totally different situation. And actually, I'd say at this point, as big of a premiere as the season 7 premiere was, man, it just it's really crazy to think, after they killed Glenn off, how much fun factor has been, just left from the series, And it's really true, man. If they had picked somebody else instead of him, I think things with the series would probably be doing a lot better. She might not want to leave, Maybe part of why she wants to leave, or why she wants to go try these other things, as she said in interviews, is because The Walking Dead's such a downer all the time. And I, you got to get that, right? Like, you got to look at that and say, yeah, we get it. She's got to do all these crying scenes. She's got to act in the show and have these seasons where Steven Yeun is no longer there, and she used to do most of her scenes with him. And so they probably had a really good rapport or a working acting relationship between the two of them. I remember interviews saying that he helped her with certain scenes, like he helped her with some points when she wanted to quit, like when they did the governor stuff in season 3. There was interviews where she had said that she didn't want to do like some of the scenes there where the governor's like, get a little bit crazy, right? And so he kind of had to like help her go through that. So, yeah, man, maybe that has a lot to do with her being like, why am I going to resign? Like, you guys put me through hell, you kill off, my husband in the series, and you do all this, and they just beat him down all the time. So yeah, it's a horror type series, so it makes a lot of sense. And if they would have done Abraham and then maybe they did Aaron instead or something like that, nothing against Ross Marquand, but if they'd have killed off Aaron and Abraham instead and still had Glenn around afterwards, man, the show would be a lot different, and I feel like probably for the better. Maybe she wouldn't want to leave, but they did what made sense to do based on the comic, and it went through as things did. And then they did something different in season 8, which wasn't in line with the comic, and kind of both. I feel like both have hurt the series in ways that you wouldn't think. So character deaths, pros and cons, man. Fulcigento says, the reason why most people stopped watching over the last 2 seasons is because of Glenn's death. He was the heart of the series, plus a lot of people despise Negan to the point where they just couldn't stand to watch the show anymore. I can't imagine what the audience's response will be if Rick dies. Yeah, man, it's absolutely true, man. How are they going to respond? Because, I agree with you guys. I agree with Chris, and I agree with Fulcigento here that, Glenn's death did have a huge impact on the show. I put it as one of the reasons for the decline of The Walking Dead. I did like a top, was it 7 or whatever, back in the fall of 2000, of this last year here, 2017, and I put his death as one of the top reasons. I really think that it did hurt the show a lot, and people really do miss having him in the series. So I agree. Robert Blakemore says Andrew Lincoln should be given or have been given a choice in his fate. The showrunners need to do the right thing and let him do a return at some point, even at a series finale event. So, yeah, hopefully so. I think that's what we're all kind of hoping for this season going in. As I've kind of, gone over all the news with you guys and we've gone through all this, I think most of us are wishing he survived, and we don't want to see him killed off, but we'll have to see what they do. And it all depends on whether or not he was willing to come back. Like, they could give him a choice, but then he's got to sign and say, okay, I'll come back later on. So don't kill me off, because I'll come back in a couple years and do a few more seasons, or at least in a couple episodes or something like that. Now, there was also a video, a sneak peek preview, which I forgot to give my thoughts on this week. If you guys haven't seen it, I'll put the link in the description for Fear the Walking Dead, and it's very crossover-y. So it's Jordy said, hey, Trev, did you see the small sneak peek about the conversation between Alicia and Morgan? Would be a nice topic for future video. Thanks for all your videos. So we'll include it in this one, and basically he talks about going back east, or maybe going back to Alexandria, and for her to come with him, and maybe he try to get the others and he try to bring them all to Alexandria together. Obviously that can't happen since Fear the Walking Dead has been renewed for a 5th season, so storyline wise something has to happen here. He probably plans on going back to Alexandria, but he must not make it for whatever reason. So he wants to go, and we'll probably see this next weekend in our premiere for the second half, which is awesome because it's natural. You think that he would be like, okay, let's all go back. It's safe there. We'll survive. It'll be okay. Let me help all you guys, and we'll all go back there because that's a place where you can definitely live and contribute and do right by everybody. But obviously, he can't go, because if he does, then that combines it with the other series, and you can't have a standalone Fear if all those characters go back to the original Walking Dead. But it is possible that in the next couple years, if Fear the Walking Dead eventually ends, you could have Morgan take whatever survivors are still alive and go back and rejoin with the main series if they're both still on, maybe in 2 or 3 years or something. Season 5 or season 6 might be last season of Fear or something. We'll see what they want to do. But that'd be cool to see eventually. So I think right now we definitely won't see them go to Alexandria in Fear the Walking Dead. I don't think that makes any sense at all to see that. But eventually we could see that. And it's a cool sneak peek, and it's totally natural for Morgan to want to say that. I mean, it's like, yeah, he would consider taking everybody back because it's safe there, and they're basically splintered all out in the open and not really getting along together or being in a cohesive group. So we'll see if he can fix that. The last one for today will be from a crazy guy, UK No, who says, Trev, this video made me sad, man. I don't like it. You're talking like Trev's channel is over, or the YouTube channel is over. So we'll end with this one for this one, because I did the video this week on the ups and downs of being a YouTuber, or, doing YouTube really after, 3,650 videos, which equals a video a day for 10 years. Not counting leap years and stuff like that. But, yeah, man, so don't worry. It's not like I'm leaving or anything like that, or I'm not doing this anymore with you guys. That's not the case. I certainly am. It's just that, I think, and a lot of us are feeling that way about this season, and it makes sense to me why maybe some people don't want to discuss it so much right now, because we're just really not sure what's going to happen with the Walking Dead series. It makes sense that they'll want it to continue, but will the fans still be into it? Or will they get turned off if they do end up actually killing Rick off this year? And what happens with that? So don't worry, I'm not going anywhere, and thank you guys for all your support. Thank you all you guys who bought a t-shirt from the t-shirt store. Link will be in the description, and thank you to everybody who comments, subscribes, and everything you guys do, likes the videos, watches the videos. Patreon, I'll put a link in the description to my Patreon account for the channel. Thank you guys for all your support. Whatever it is you're doing to support the channel, even if it's just watching and not even subscribing or whatever, thank you anyway. That's awesome. So don't worry, it's not over yet, but we'll have to see how things go in the next couple years. And I think it's just more of a feeling right now based on what we're seeing. I don't think that it is, in fact, over. At least Fear of the Walking Dead's been renewed for Season 5, so at least next year there's that. And The Walking Dead, I'm sure, will get a Season 10 for sure, so at least we'll have that. However it ends up, whether it ends up good or not, we'll see. And we'll see how you guys feel about it as we go through. So that'll be it for today's video, guys. If you liked it, I hope you did. Please like it. Please thumb it up below. You can share, favorite, and subscribe at the bottom left. Check back tonight after the preview special. I'll give my thoughts on it and recap it if you miss it. Maybe tomorrow you can check back if you don't see it tonight. That's it for this one, guys. We'll see you again soon for another video. As always, this is Trev, and I'm saying peace later, guys. I'll see you soon.